We're recording now. Welcome everyone to another lovely episode with the Academy. And today we're going to be discussing more about the job aspect of trading. As we all know, with the popular saying, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's in that case, trading is not also neglected. Trading can lead quite all right to financial freedom, but it's also a responsibility. Okay. And then this becomes difficult for us who have who had the initial mindset that we are coming to gain freedom without any responsibility. And then it becomes a little bit difficult to keep up with trading over the years. And then this leads to fallout and probably much difficult scenarios because you end up losing all your investments, including your time. So today's section, we're going to dedicate it mainly to discussing how to tackle these factors and also find a better solution for we within the community. All right. So from my own time, how I was able to merge this whole system was because it's easier. Trading is what JayForexHouse is into. So running JayForexHouse as a full-time job happens to become something that I found difficult along the way because I started understanding that I had to organize myself. I had to organize myself because we get this too into the day. We get too into the day that we sometimes forget that each day are not the same. Every single day is not the same. So if you keep doing something every single day, you end up getting used to it. Basically, to develop a habit, you have to just do something for 21 days. Then it gradually becomes a habit and then it programs into your subconscious, you see. So whatever it is, no matter the practice you do, if you do it too long, you start getting used to it and you find it more comfortable. But definitely, you should expect your system fighting back with you trying to, start up something new, you know. So trading alone is something that requires a lot of attention and also has to put under control, or this request will keep advancing to the point where you cannot actually give that much attention to trading anymore. Okay. And what we're talking about is that when it comes to looking for charts, that's different from trying to place a trade. And that's also different from trying to manage your community for those of you who already have your own platforms, you see. So you have to schedule yourself. I don't do everything every day. I just do specific things I have for the day. You see? So some of you are already into 9 to 5, some of you are already into jobs, part-time jobs that you have to attend during certain time. So you have to start looking at time factors. How often do you categorize your daily activities? Or do your daily activities categorize themselves for you? You see? So how often do you plan when to trade instead of just randomly coming to trade? You see, so most of these things are factors that when you start practicing them, you find yourself not even trading all the time. Like me, I haven't even traded this year and I feel comfortable with it because I know my schedules are booked. And even if I was to look at the trade, I would probably just wash things up and do nonsense because my attention is not fully there. You see? So some of these things are things you could not even notice and could lead to you even losing your money because you didn't even pay any attention in the first place to understand that time is moving. Time is moving. Either you get organized or the movement is going to organize for you. And then that becomes more tricky because you don't really know when and which schedule is being fixed for which. They just pop up randomly in your life and it becomes exhausting. Okay. So we have to understand that one of the factors that causes conflict between 9 to 5 jobs and trying to be a trader is disorganization of time. So you just pick your time randomly. And secondly, we have to talk about the factors of risk management as well. Most of us are trying to impulsively trade. We want to trade impulsively. We are trying to do this in a way that we are trying to force the market to give us what it wants at that moment, neglecting risk management and all of those stuff, which is a very bad thing as well. So we have to consider these factors. Okay. How strict are you with your trading rules? How much do you really have a plan? Or do you think you have a plan? You see, most people think they have a plan, but they don't. They just have a blueprint in their head, which is fading because they don't have it written out somewhere. And then they just go into the chart and then look at the chart, look at the chart, look at the chart, and then place a trade. And they say they have a trading plan. That's not a trading plan. I have multiple books where I write down things all the time. How often do you do that in terms of trading? Because you have to you have to organize yourself, stabilize yourself as a job, and then relax. There's nothing you can rush here. It's the same thing with every factor. I know it's difficult. You can take out a day, or you can plan out a single day and focus it on trading, but mainly to organize yourself for 2025. And thirdly, brings us to those of you who have platforms and you find difficulties managing your platform and keeping up with trading. Now, some of the things you can do to handle such stress is that you have to now schedule your platforms as well, like having a job to attend to, you see. And the platforms are things you can run within an hour. Mine, I do everything within an hour. What I do is that if I have a video to upload on YouTube today, I probably made the video yesterday or 2 days ago, you see. So I made out time about 45 minutes 2 days ago to record the video. And I gave myself 2 days heads up to edit the video before posting it. That's planning. I don't just rush in a day and try to edit a video and make a video and then post the video at the same time. It becomes difficult. It becomes exhausted. Same way you do with trading. You can't just come into the trade today, look for the pair today, look for the chart today, look for everything today, and then jump into the trade. At that moment, that's too impulsive. There's every tendency you don't even know what you're doing. So you have to relax. You can't rush things here, and you have to also have your system in check. That's why trading has a desk. You can't move to a system where you have a trading desk with your system and your books, and you don't have a plan. Because what are you doing on the desk? You see, what are you doing on the desk? What's the plan? You just, whenever you feel like you go to the desk and do what you want to do, and then you leave, and then you complain why you're not making it out. Because most of us, these are the factors we are facing why we are having these difficulties with merging our 9 to 5. Because how am I sure about this is I used to be in this position. Currently, I'm doing a lot to run the platform, and I understand what it takes to be here and there, but I'm telling you that I'm not getting choked up mainly because I have an organized plan. So I know an organized plan is going to work to solve that problem for anybody. And I also know if you don't get a plan, it's going to keep being choky because I was that choky till I had to get used to a plan. And I'm telling you, you only need to practice that plan for 21 days. You're going to find the errors to correct, and you're going to find the rules to stick to. Your willpower will develop over time, and after 21 days, you start finding it easier to keep up with this plan, and then you become a rule-based trader. You have rules and you have organized system you follow to trade and stuff like that. So most of us, we have to start looking into things like this. Basically, it's saying we have to start getting matured. Maturity is not age, it's organization. How organized are you? So get mature with trading. Don't trade like a newbie. Trade like a professional. Schedule yourself. If you trade New York section, then find a way to get your time within your job for New York section. You can do what you want to do in London section against New York section, then you trade in New York section. And then you can, if you run the platform, you can schedule yourself and say a day heads up, you know what you're going to be doing today for your platform. By all means necessary, you should put out that event. Is it a chat? Is it promoting your platform on other social media? But by all means necessary, that is an agenda for that day. No day is the same. So if you don't get that agenda done for that day, you missed your flight. You can't do it again. Tomorrow is a different day. So most of these kind of rules are not things you can easily just keep up with. But if you can do it for 21 days, you have a platform, you have your peace. So please, anyone has anything to say concerning this 9 to 5 and event aspect. So we can also have contributions and make it a more constructive conversation before we move over to the JayForexHouse agenda and stuff like that.
For me right now, good evening, everyone. What you are saying is a reminder and a confirmation for me because in the last week, I realized that I've strayed a bit from my trading plan, and it was having a toll on me in my mind. Things wasn't working as how I would have expected it to. And from time I look back at my documented trading plan, I realized, hey, I've strayed from this. So this is a reminder to me and a confirmation from last week. So thanks.
Nice one, brother. Nice one. Also, I pray you find your way in your situation too, because most of the time we don't really plan for situation. We never even plan for situations to happen. They're just most of the struggles we have to face in this life. And sometimes they interfere with our daily schedule, sometimes with our trading plan, sometimes with our life. But at the same time, we have to understand that these challenges are tests, constructs that God has made already for us. And definitely we can always skate through if we keep our aim straight. That's what I believe in. So most of the times I get challenges all the time. I got challenges even today. So many challenges that I never even thought I would be able to make it up to the section today. But I never focused on the aspect of me having a challenge. I never even saw it as a challenge. All I saw it was a test to see if I would be willing to push the negative aspect that I might not be able to make it today, or if I'm going to be reluctant about it and keep the mindset that this is only a test and I'm going to make it to the section today. Lo and behold, here we are, live, not even having any interference. And this is how life works, you see. So that's my own belief. I don't really try to get my way around these methods and these struggles in a fashioned way or a different, a unique way. It's just as simple as understanding that these are tests. No matter how big it is a test. There's definitely an explanation that we're trying to run away from, maybe because of our ego, maybe because of our pride. But most of these things are what I call the game of life to keep us distracted. It's part of what life does to keep us distracted from our goals so we don't get to accomplish anything before the day is done. So I make my best and I try my best to make sure I don't get distracted, no matter the level of distraction. It does not interfere with my trading plan because once it does, it's going to keep coming and it's difficult for you to keep up with a plan. Why a habit develops over 21 days is because it's very difficult to keep up with a new plan for 21 days without having an interference. The interference is not on purpose. The interference happens due to conditioning of our previous mindset, which then set up challenges to stop us from exhibiting these new habits, you see. So most of the times it's not even consciously being done against us. It's being done subconsciously to keep us away from this new habit we are trying to develop. Sticking to a plan is a habit you're trying to develop. And once you do that, you start to stick to other things too. It's same way it works negatively, it works positively as well. You see? So when you start to stick to a plan, too often that you don't let conditions get into your way, you find yourself other aspect of life doing the same thing as well. And then slowly you change into a new person. So definitely your old constructs would pick up defense after the first 2 weeks of trying to establish this habit. It's trying to break an addiction. Not being organized is also an addiction. There are people that just don't like anything that goes educational. They're addictive to entertainment. They hate educational content. They just want to be entertained. You see? So, and for them to break that habit is an addiction. For you to want to restructure yourself is an addiction. So you have to understand that your system will definitely fight back with challenges to keep you away from most of these new habits you're trying to develop. So I pray you find easier situations, and also you find the courage to scale through your conditions to brother.
Thanks.
Mm. So anybody else has any question that we can, or any subjects we can dive into with contributions, and before we move to the next step.
Good evening, Jay.
Good evening, Gray. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. Kind of joined late. So I actually want to ask something. Um, we all talk about stop loss and knowing how to control stop loss. So what do one do when you are actually after your price? Like, okay, price have gone in your direction about 1 ratio. Since I'm most of when I trade, I use 1 ratio 2.5 as my TP. So most times, once price are giving me 1 ratio 1.5, for example, I always feel like, okay, should at times I lock profit, and at times I'm tempted to like close because sometimes price just come back and hits me at break even or SL. So how do one tend to manage that aspect of always wanting to keep the profits? Because I don't have issue about the SL. If I hit an SL, I don't really have a problem with that because I know how much I'm staking. But at times I kind of have this feeling of, okay, I don't want to lose what I've made from the market already when the trade is still going without it eating my SL, my TP, I mean. So like, how does one manage that?
Okay, so how does one manage winning trades turning into losses, right?
Yes, and how does one like stop the feeling, okay, let me try and hold till TP, or if it's break even, okay, no issue. Because
Yes, yes.
last week now, all my hits break even. Every single
Mm.
trade hit break even, and it was only one that price later went against my bias. Every other thing went my way, but it kept coming to hit me and break even, then go in my direction. So like,
I think that's a situation I've been in the past too, because there's and there was this said saying I developed over time that has also helped me as well. Because one, I came to make money, not to hit TP. You see, so I came to make money, not to hit TP. So you have to understand that you can take percentage of your trades. You know that too, right? You can take percentage off, because one of the reasons why we have guilty conscience is because we have something that we feel guilty about. There's a reason why you keep feeling like it's going to hit your trade, your break even. If there's no factor surrounding the reason, it can't be a reason. There's no reason for you to fear for break even. If you are clearly not seeing something that could probably make this trade go towards break even, and you're trying to neglect that because probably you're looking at hitting TP, you see? But when you have factors like that and you understand you're here to make money, you don't just close the trade. Instead, you take some percentage off, which is making money and putting your conscience at bay so you can focus on hitting TP. So you share the profits. So, and now what happened was that, look, I started having this conflict with having to cut profit at an early stage. So basically, I'm saying because I cut profit now because of that break-even issue, I started having small money to hold to the take profit aspect. So what I did then to adjust this particular change was that I usually risk 0.5% on a single trade, you see. But a trade that I can't really tell if it's going to break even or going to hit my TP, maybe based on it being a counter structure trade or a trade in the direction of the trend, but we have an obstacle in front of us. What I do is that I use a higher ratio, a higher risk, with the intentions of taking out something maybe at a 1 to 5 as the full target, and a 1 to 2 as a first stop. So you see, I start scaling up, and by the time I'm up to the point where I have to now hold to take profit, I'm holding the exact same amount I would usually hold when I'm on my average risk to reward trade. And I took out the extra I added on it on the plan of the break even. And then I put it on break even, and then I don't worry about it. If I break even and I still make money, then nothing went wrong. I only did not win that big. You see, there's no losses. But if I break even and I don't make any money, and I made money, but I never took anything out, it's a psychological problem. Because then you're going to you're going to beat yourself up for letting that go against your direction. But you have to understand it's a psychological problem. So you have to tackle it psychologically. So how do I go around this? Because you're going to get tempted to take something out. And then you're also still going to get punished with your thoughts if you don't take something out and it goes against you. So you have to construct something that fits both sides, which is increasing the risk a little bit, knowing this trade will definitely go in your direction at least 2%. So you're having two trades in one direction. One aiming at a 1 to 2, and the second one aiming at the initial direction. The one aiming at the initial direction stays at the same plan. While the one aiming at the 1 to 2 is an extra, basically to give you something worth willing to say, okay, I lost this trade on break even, because break even means you did not lose anything, you did not win anything, you're on even. So being on even for me is winning little, not on zero, winning little. So when I win little, I don't get this emotional attack if the trade goes against me or not. So I stay logical instead of being delusional. Remember, the only reason you're having those doubts and those guilt is because you're beginning to spot reasons why that trade will go against you. So when you don't have those guilt of I have to break even because I have not taken anything out of this trade. When you start having those reasons, you become logical. You see, you become logical to what if I'm right and this goes against me? That way you live, and you live for real, because you already took out something the first time, and this you are on right now is enough. You see, because you already took out something the first time. But when you don't do something about it and that situation pops up, instead you're now on the wrong side, which is you saying, I should have. You see, regret comes in, and then
Yeah.
more problem comes in, and more problem till you find yourself on break even. You never made anything, and you lost that particular opportunity. So it's a psychological problem. It's not a technical problem. It's both ways, but it's more psychological. So you have to construct something around it that could feed that same ego of yours and also do the right thing. Because it's going to always be there. There's no way around it. You just have to just build something for it. You have to contain it instead of trying to get rid of it. You see, it's you. It's you. You're trying to not lose a trade and also make money at the same time. So you're definitely going to have this conflict in you. You just have to, technical analysis is all about building constructs. So that's all I can say. It's a psychological problem. And if you can adjust from your risk management aspect and to your target aspect, you will definitely find something that will fit you. I just gave you my own example. That was how I tackle
Yeah.
it on my own end, you see. So I'm not saying you should do exactly what I did, but use that as an insight to see if you can craft out something to solve that problem.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So any other person with something we should handle, you know, something like this. Okay, so I will just conclude that we have all the personal issues of those who are online solved, so we can move forward. All right. So secondly, on the aspect of being a content creator, and on the aspect of JayForexHouse registration. So I had this little conflict. I'm also going to make this part, I think, public as well, so public opinion can also count. And I was having this conflict with the decision on the registration. So we have the guys who are working on the registration aspect, and then they gave me this question. Rather, it's more like a decision to make, and I'm on the crossroad. JayForexHouse is currently not a physical, or let's say a body-wise platform. So we don't have an office space. So going through a registration process would require us to do something like that, or require us to look into other means of digital license. Okay. And then at the same time, JForexHouse is a platform that attracts multiple aspects of online monetization and multiple aspect of um business can be drawn out of this. For example, merchandise, trading merchandise. So a different boy that came to me said he was into clothing and stuff like that, and then he wanted to print. He has this platform where he prints clothes. Basically, that's his business, and he's looking into doing it more into trading. You see, and then he was thinking of using part of JForexHouse brand in some of his clothing to promote trading clothes and trading brands, stuff like that. So it was more of a business merchandise deal. But I was a little bit conflicted with how do we go about this? Because we're currently on the aspect of creating visual content that other traders and other content creators, other traders can use, which is a different aspect of trading. This is not trading anymore. This is now trying to become educative content creators under trading. So that's a different aspect, because on that, we're already having contents that we're going to have on copyright, you see, is a different leg within business. And then we're going to also have to look into other kinds of partnership. And then we are having conflict with the registration process, which is having to be a physical body, and what country are we operating on if we want to be a physical body, because being a digital body now gives us the ability to, showcase ourselves worldwide. But when you become a physical body now, we start having restrictions on where to operate and how to operate. So from your own opinion, from your experience in business and ideas, and knowing you're involved in this organization, which the growth can also affect you. And if you're a trader out there, maybe you're into any part of business, because this is also part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to build a system where everybody can benefit from, even within their 9 to 5, what they have learned, business they are into, what you have to offer that could get you independent. Something trading can elevate for you to give you your freedom, even without you trading, is what we are into as an academy, as a community, and as a platform. So if you're into something like this brother that came up with the idea of the clothing, and maybe you have an idea like that as well, you can always contact me and we can look into how we can work with that as well. But other than that, what do you think we should do as a community in this particular situation we are having right now? Anybody has any opinion? I'm also hoping the general public has something to say about it too, because it's kind of like a big one, you see. So it's a very, very, very big insight to go with. And I'm not even really into business. I'm just a statistician, so I don't really know much of those kind of stuff. So if you're also within the public, you can also contact me, or you can maybe use the comments. That's for those of you who are watching, not from the live. So for the live guys, please, if you have something to say.
Um, okay. So what I was saying is this: since it's meant to be a digital company and it's always better to operate worldwide than getting all these restrictions. I would say, is there a possibility of getting license just as a digital company that works online? And if that is possible, does that mean we could also do things like, since we're in Nigeria, for example, could we still hold conferences within the country, even though we don't have a physical building? Because I don't know how that works. If we could be, if we could be licensed digitally and we can run conferences in within the country and outside, maybe other parties we represent the JayForex outside the country. If you can do that as a licensed organization, that will be cool as a digital one. But because since we're trying to since we're trying to reach out and help other people grow, I feel there's one thing about being limited. It looks like, we are putting ourselves in a limit, but we might be able to reach out to a lot of folks with that. I don't know if I'm making any sense. If we
Yes,
have a
yes.
building, it makes us look more, should I say, more real, more assured, more people get more confidence. It's just like having a page without a face, and then you see another page doing the same content, but this page has a face. Most people tend to like go for that. For me, example, it's just like creating a website now without a CEO. We don't have the CEO information on the website. We just create a website. This website is already sketchy. Unlike when the CEO information is in the website. I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yes, I'm following up, following up. So
Yeah.
I went the other day. I went to the Corporate Affairs Commission of Nigeria, and I was looking into the registration process. And the lawyer I met there said something about this same aspect as well. So for us to be able to hold conferences like you mentioned and stuff like that, then we basically need an approval like from the Corporate Affairs Commission, which would place us under the Aligned Matter Act of the Corporate Affairs Commission. Because according to what she was saying, there was an aspect which we can register ourselves as an organization operating worldwide, but registered in Nigeria. With that being said, meaning we can also partnership and extend our awareness outside Nigeria, but starting up as an organization in Nigeria. And then in the aspect of registering ourselves as an organization, which is basically what would benefit us as a community as well, we're also looking at moving JForexHouse as an academy, right? Because we have contents like academic content, and we have individuals who are into this for the educational aspect as well. So do we go into it separately, having the academia and the organization with practically different license under each other, stuff like that? Is that really a better idea? Or do you think we should focus more on the organization aspect and keep it more within a community and get a CAC approval to have our conference and our events spread across the nation? So what do you think on that aspect as well?
On that aspect, I think there's this thing we call parent company and should I say, the child company. So I think that is when a particular company is registered, like on CSC, and this other company is registered within that particular company that is registered. So anything that this small company does, if it's like, let me say it was against the rule or regulation within our constitution, the parent company bears the consequences. In other words, instead of registering JForex Academy and JForex organization, I think we can just register one. Now, and the best would be the organization, mainly saying that, okay, there's an organization doing this. In this organization, there's also an academy under it that offers this and this to people. I feel it would be best to just have a parent company, then every other one should be inside, within the company. So it's like the one standing up while every other person every other constitution, all the other bodies, other part of the business is just within. At times, most company takes it as group of, so it can be like, okay, this is a group of organization. The academy is part of the group, or any part of it. Be it the Forest Academy, let me say Fashion Academy, can be JFX Fashion Academy, for example. It's still FX, but it's under a different academy, not just teaching Forex, now teaching Forex in a fashion way, for example, and Forex in a real estate matter. It can all be under a JForex organization.
Yes, yes,
That thing is like, it's just like
that was also something I had in consideration too as well. But this was the conflict we had on that aspect. Now, we're talking about Nigeria here, and we know about the restrictions and the tax rates and all of those stuff when it comes to organizations who are having external and internal bodies, stuff like that. Now that's where we have another conflict too, because once we start going big and having merchandise and stuff like that, I don't know, maybe along the way that could be discussed, with the people. But what I'm mainly focused on is going completely digital. That's my focus basically. That's why I even started digital. For me, I'm focused more on how we can advance also into the aspect of crypto, because even before Telegram evolved into the aspect we are today, where we having platforms paying, and also you can also now, I think you can also now share the shares of which the channel is paying to owners. So you can also sell share holding to maybe an administration of your channel. You see, so it's becoming a stock. And basically, crypto is moving into a stage where you can have a digital coin or a digital platform. And this is a trading platform, you see. So you can see we can go even bigger and also have investors interested in the platform in the future. So, do you think we should go forward with having it registered as an organization in Nigeria when we know we are having plans, like this in the future and stuff like that? Don't you think we could have some conflicts, and would Nigeria be the best country for us to look into this? You see, that's another aspect we should also look into.
That's a very big aspect because in Nigeria and the way they frown stylishly on crypto and still let it play out.
You see, we have so many restrictions playing out right now, especially on crypto
Yeah.
and the
Especially on
digital
crypto.
space as well.
Yes. Because we don't know, something could come up one day and it'd be like, oh, every crypto organization
It's
drop.
getting taxed like 90%, and that's like 9/11 kind of
Yeah.
shit. How do we not handle that?
That would be crazy, actually. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. And now we need to basically look forward. We need to look ahead and not just now because
Exactly. We have to put the plan in motion, because we're already in motion. So this is we have less than 1 minute for this section. I think this will be the end of the first leg. So probably the next leg won't be made public. So whatever decision we make from there will be private. But for those of you who are watching, this is the JayForexHouse Academy. This is basically how we do it within the administration, and we're looking forward to do it. So you can contact us if you would like to join the community. It's completely free for now. And then we also share insights together to see how we can grow individually and together as a community. So for you guys, you can tap the link and then we can join in again and continue from where we stop, okay? Just tap the same link, I think should continue.
all right.
This should end in less than 30 seconds now.